Welcome back. As ISIL loses ground in Iraq and Syria, the fate of the children of foreign militants is in question. A few days ago, there were new arrivals at an orphanage in Baghdad, and as in previous cases, most of the children appear scarred by their experiences. They were taken care of by their teenage sister, who was married to a militant. Now, while there's no argument that children should be allowed to return to their families, deciding the fate of the wives of ISIL fighters is a deeply divisive issue.
We have no idea what crimes they have committed or may have committed, so I don't think they should be allowed back here. I also don't think they can be rehabilitated. They knew what they were doing, they chose to go out there.
Actually, I think we've got to sort out the known war criminals who've been responsible for them crimes. You talk, Toni, about the women. I think it's right that we screen them, we find out what they've been involved in and why they made a decision to go out. And actually they could be used as a good resource in terms of gathering intelligence.
Do you honestly think that somebody who's committed any kind of atrocity is going to hold their hands up and admit to it? You have absolutely no way of knowing whether they did or whether they didn't. They're not going to admit to it. So I'm sorry, would I take that risk with the women and children in this country? When we could actually be bringing them in and they could be telling us, yes, we've had a change of heart, we realise we shouldn't have done it, we didn't commit any crime. They come in and the next thing you know, you've got a plot for another terror attack in this country.
Well, the vast majority of terrorist plots and the terrorist activity that we've seen dreadfully seen over these past few months here in London and Manchester are actually homegrown problems. They're not people who've come from outside, asylum seekers or refugees. They're actually a majority
radicalised by whom?
People radicalised by ISIS and their ideology of violence through the internet. Primarily,
You've just answered it yourself.
Preachers
You've
and
just
ISIS.
answered it yourself, Mohammed.
We have to de-radicalise these people. We have to make sure that they understand.
You cannot de-radicalise. How do you de-radicalise somebody who may have beheaded somebody?
Well, come on, there's a slight difference. I'm not talking about people who are beheading people. If they've been involved in those sort of terrorist activities,
know if they had?
They're war criminals, and they should be held to account for their war crimes. We're talking here about children, and we're talking to people who are not. Well, how do you know that they are?
Again, you're not answering the question, Mohammed.
How do you know?
That's exactly the point, Mohammed. That's exactly the point.
How do you know that they are?
I can't say, and neither can you. We will not know. 3,500 jihadis on a watch list in this country. 3,500 Islamic extremists in this country right now. The police have said they don't know where they are, Mohammed. The police have said that. They do not know where they are. Sadiq Khan, by his own admission, has said he doesn't have any idea where any of them are. What you're talking about is somebody, if I came to you and I had been out and committed some atrocity, but I swore to you I hadn't, that I hadn't done it, how would you prove that I had or I hadn't? You cannot prove one way or the other. And I'm sorry, but
Toni, we can't have the law of the jungle. We can't have the law of the jungle. We have a due process of law in this country, and those laws have to take their process.
Yes, we do.
That's the point you have to make very clear.
Yes, they
that
do.
we don't, we don't find people guilty without a due process, and we have to go through that process. So there are terrorism laws. There are processes in which the intelligence agencies and police should be able to follow.